Hello there today. We are working on a worksheet that covers map scaling, and this map represents our solar system. When you are scaling, you're using a larger or smaller object to represent something. This map is smaller than the actual size of our solar system. Of course, it uses smaller lengths to represent the larger lengths in the real world. Now I realize our solar system is not flat, but this scaled down version helps us visualize the distances. I mean, our solar system is huge, and it is very difficult to see how big it really is without a smaller version to look at. So let's take a look at the directions. This little space dude right here says, our solar system is huge. Well, I just said that. If we shrunk it down to fit on this piece of paper, it would kind of look like this. It is so big that only one small line, one of these lines right there, you see that? Would equal 36 million miles in the real solar system. Use the scale to determine the approximate distance each planet is from the sun. Well, here's the sun right here, and here are the planets, so we need to calculate the distance. All right, so basically all we're doing is counting lines and then using the scale right here, where one line equals 36 million miles. Estimate to the nearest 0.5 or half of a line. So one line equals 36 million miles. And you might be thinking, how far is 36 million miles? Well, you know, that rock in the sky, yes, I'm talking about the moon. It is about 239,000 miles from us. Only 239,000. So think how really far 36 million miles is. And this little alien says over here, he says, did you know that Pluto is called a dwarf planet? There are many other dwarf planets in our solar system. Now, when I was a kid and dinosaurs were walking around and we had no cars and no computers, Pluto was actually called a planet. But after a while, people started saying, hey, it's so small, and there's other small planets out there. So they started calling it a dwarf planet. Poor Pluto, huh? Oh, well. All right, so let's take a look at the problems. So basically, all we do is count the lines, and for every line we count, it equals 36 million miles. So let's do Mercury. Mercury is one line. So we put number of lines right here is 1. And we already know that one line is 36 million miles. So for miles, we put 36 million miles. Huh, that was easy. All right, let's do Venus. Venus is one line, 2 lines. So we put 2 lines right here. And all we need to do is come down here really quick. We write 36 million miles times 2. Because we have 2 of them. Well, 2 times 0 is 0, 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 and 2 times 6 is 12. Carry the 1. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So we get 72 million miles. Now, some of you might be thinking, wait a second, you're wasting our time multiplying all of these zeros, when really all we had to do was 2 times 36, which we know is 72, and all we have to do after that is add these 6 zeros. So I just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So when we multiply these, we don't have to worry about all the zeros. It will save us a lot of time. So I come up here really quick, and we know that Venus is 72 million miles. Now, there's other ways of doing this. You could have just done 36 plus 36 because you know you had 2 of them. And there's a lot of different ways of doing this. So you have your choice. Why don't you do Earth, Mars, and Jupiter? And when you get the answers, come back to me and we'll check it. And again, you don't have to multiply. You can add. You can do the distributive property. You can do different ways. And if you think this is totally easy for you and you don't need my help, you don't have to listen to me. You can do this worksheet on your own. I'm just here to help the people that need help. So try Earth, Mars, and Jupiter. Come back to me and we will check your answers. See you in a bit. All right, welcome back. You were supposed to do Earth, Mars, and Jupiter. Let's take a look at Earth. Earth is 1, 2, and it's in the middle, so it's 2.5. So all I do is put a 2.5 right here. Now, this time, I'm not going to multiply because I already know a half line is 18 million miles. It says that right there. By the way, in case I didn't tell you, it says right here the planets are not to scale. Because remember, the planets are so small compared to 36 million miles, it'd be really hard to draw that. So the planets are not to scale. Sorry if I forgot to tell you that. So a half line is only 18 million miles. And we know Venus is 72. So all we have to do is say 72 plus 18. And that gives us 90. And then we just add in the 6 zeros like we talked about before. So Earth is 90 million miles from the sun. Again, we're calculating the distance the planets are from the sun. So now we got Mars. Mars is 1, 2, 3, 4. So we know Mars is 4 lines. Well, Venus is 2 lines at 72. So all we have to do is double it because 2 plus 2 is 4. So I'm going to come down here really quick. And I'm going to say 72 plus 72. I get 4. 7 plus 7 is 14. And all I do is add 6 zeros. So I get 144 million. 144. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. Now we're doing Jupiter. We're starting to get farther and farther away from the sun. So Jupiter is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 13 and a half. So we have 13 and a half lines. Now, we could add a couple of these things up and try to figure it all out. But you know what? I think I'm just going to try to multiply really quick. And 13 and a half also equals 13.5. If you forgot that, just think a half is a fraction, 0.5 is a decimal, and they're the same. So you got 13.5, and we know each line, again, equals, let me clean this up really quick for us. We know each line equals 36 million miles. So we just take 13.5 and multiply it by 36. So I'm going to put 36 on the bottom right here, times 36. Now when you're doing a decimal, I always move the decimal out of the way before I multiply. I actually put a little 1 here because that reminds me I'm going to have to put it back 1 space when I'm done. So I do 6 times 5 is 30. Put a 3 up here. 6 times 3 is 18. Plus 3 is 21. And carry a 2. And 6 times 1 is 6. Plus 2 is 8. I'm going to put a placeholder right here because we're starting off in the tens place now. 3 times 5 is 15. Let me switch the colors right here. 3 times 5 is 15. Carry the 1. 3 times 3 is 9 plus 1 is 10. Carry the 1. And 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1 is 4. And if I add all this together, let me change the color again. I get 0, 6, 8, and 4. But I got to put the decimal back in, so I put it right there. So really, we get 486. Then I have to put in the 6 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we get 486 million miles. Wow, we're getting far. 486 million miles. All right, let's do this. You do Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto on your own. Come back to me and we'll check your answers. See you in a bit. All right, we're looking at Saturn first. Now, I'm going to be kind of lazy here, and I know right here, if I draw this line right here, we know that this is 13 lines. We already know that because we counted it. So why am I going to keep on counting the lines? I'm just going to start right here. So I have 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 24 and a half. So I'm going to put 24 and a half right there. So I got 24 and a half lines. I can either multiply, I can add, I can do different ways of doing this. I think I'm just going to multiply 24.5 times 36 because 36 million miles equals one line. And we have 24 and a half lines, or 24.5. So I'm just going to come down here and I'm going to write 36 times 24.5. Again, I'm going to move my decimal out of the way, and I'm going to put a little 1 right there just to remind me I have to put the decimal back when I'm done. Let's change colors. 6 times 5 is 30, carry the 3. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 3 is 27, carry the 2. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 2 is 14. I am going to put a placeholder right there. 3 times 5 is 15, carry the 1. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13, carry the 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. If I add all this up, I get 0. 7 plus 5 is 12, carry a 1. 1 plus 4 plus 3 is 8. And 7 plus 1 is 8. So I get, oh, wait, hold on. I got to put the decimal back. So I put the decimal back, and I get 882 million miles. Do you see how I don't worry about the zeros until the end? Saves us a lot of time. Up here, I get 882 million miles. So now I'm doing Uranus. Now, again, I'm not going to go counting all the lines from the beginning. I'm just going to draw a little line right here, and we know this was 24. So we have 24 lines right there. Let's start counting. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 49 and a half. So this is going to be 49 and a half lines. Woo-wee! Huh. I was just thinking, why do I have to multiply on this one when we know we have 49 and a half lines? Well, it's almost twice the distance as Saturn, because 24 and a half plus 24 and a half makes 49. So why don't I just double this number right here, and then I just add a half to it. And a half is 18 million miles. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to do 882 plus 882, which gives me 4. 8 plus 8 is 16. Carry the 1. 8 plus 8 is 16. Plus 1 is 17. So we get 1764. And then I have a half, so I'm going to add 18 to that. And plus 18 gives me 8 plus 4 is 2. Carry a 1. 6 plus 1 plus 1 is 8. Then I have 7, 1. So I have 1, 7, 8, 2. Then I add 6 zeros. So I get 1,782,000,000 miles from the sun. So I'm going to put 1, 7, 8, 2. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See that? See that? Now, if you were confused that I added it together, again, I knew 24 and a half was about half distance, so I just put 24 and a half plus 24 and a half is 49. And then I just added the other half at the end. So that's why I doubled 882 plus 882, and then I added another 18 right there for that half. Let's move to Neptune. Again, I'm not going to start from the sun and start counting all the way out here and waste my time. I already know right here, this line right here is 49. Hopefully we're counting right every time. But since it's 49, we go 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77 and a half. Let me change that to blue. 77 and a half. Again, there's different ways of doing it. I'm looking at this right now just thinking, why don't I just multiply really quick? 77.5, because 77 and a half is the same thing as 77.5 times 36, because every line is 36 million miles. So I'm going to come down here, right here, and I'm going to write 36 times 77.5. I'm going to move the decimal out of the way. I put a little 1 just to remind myself that when I'm done, I got to put that decimal back. That's one of the biggest mistakes people make when they multiply. They forget to put the decimal back. So I put a little 1 just to remind myself. I do 6 times 5 is 30. I carry the 3. I do 6 times 7 is 42, plus 3 is 45. I carry the 4. I do 6 times 7 is 42, plus 4 is 46. I'm going to change colors. I add a placeholder, a 0. I do 3 times 5 is 15. I carry the 1. I do 3 times 7 is 21, plus 1 is 22. I carry the 2. And I do 3 times 7 is 21 again, plus 2 is 23. I add all this up together. I get 0. I get 10. I carry a 1. I get 9, I get 7, and I get 2. And I don't forget to put the decimal back. So I have 2, 7, 9, 0, and then I add 6 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Every 3 spaces I need a comma, or if I'm in Europe, I put a decimal, but we're using commas today. So I put a comma, and we get 2,790,000,000 miles away from the sun. So I put 2, 7, 9, 0, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alrighty, let me put a little line there so you can see it's a 7. Let me change to red, and we got the last one. We got Pluto, which is a dwarf planet. He's like, I'm big inside. Well, still a planet to me, because when I was a kid, we called it a planet. So I'm going to rebel and call it a planet. I'm going to stick up for Pluto. Poor little Pluto. All right, let's count lines. Again, I'm not going to start from the very beginning, because I know right here is 77 lines. So I'm going to start right here. Let me change my, oh, we got red. Let me change it to blue so you can see. So we got 77 lines, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102 lines. And you might be thinking, I don't want to multiply 36 times 102. But if you think about it, you know that 100 plus 2 equals 102. Well, 100 times 36, all you do is write 36 and add 2 zeros. And to do 2, we already know 2 equals 72. And again, I'm not worrying about those 6 zeros until the end. So you might be thinking, why did he only get 3,600? Well, I know there's 6 zeros afterwards, but I'll put it in at the end. So I'm going to use that 2, which is 72. So this is 72. All I do is 3,600 plus 72. I get 3,672. Then I add 6 zeros at the end. That's pretty simple, just worrying about the zeros at the end. So the answer right here, I'm going to put it in red so you can see it, is 3 billion, not million, billion, 672 million miles away from the sun. That is so far away. Woo-wee! Well, we're done. I hope I helped, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.